Alright, I just installed Windows 8.1 on my new computer. Let's see how good it is. Whoa! Alright, so today we're going to be making Windows 8.1 look like Windows 7. Now, there are a lot of reasons why you'd actually want to do this. Firstly, Windows 7 is ending support, and I can see a lot of people upgrading to Windows 8.1 just because Windows 10 is actual garbage, and it's still garbage. This could be a good option, and if you really don't like the user interface of Windows 8.1, then you might consider this option, as this is actually very accurate. It looks really similar to Windows 7. I'll just go ahead and show you the aftermath of the transformation. As you can see, this is actually Windows 8.1. The Windows 8.1 Pro operating system. So this is Windows 8.1, and as you can see, this is really accurate to Windows 7. If I just like full screen it, this is gonna be the aftermath. As you can see, we got, the Windows 7 start. Okay, that's great. You get the point. That's how it's going to look like at the end. So the first thing you want to download is the Windows 7 pack, which is the first link in the description. This is what you're going to get. You're going to get some Windows 7 user tiles, the sounds that we're going to go over later, the Windows 7 icons, and some pictures that we'll be using later in the video as well. So that's the first thing you want to download. The first thing you want is Windows Aero for Windows 8. So it's called Aero Glass 8. Aero Glass for Windows 8. And go to download and go to version 1.4.6 because these two are for Windows 10. So we're gonna get this one. So this is a problem. I don't know why this is happening, but the developer of the website, I don't know what's happening, but they don't have the download up right now. This should be fixed shortly. But for now, we can go to the Wayback Archive, and I'll provide a direct link. You don't have to do this, but we're going to go ahead and copy the download link and just go to the Wayback Archive and just, do the latest one. It's going to be the same thing. And this isn't a virus. It's just taking a copy of the website, and we can save the file. And once that's saved, you have a setup the setup file. Click yes. And this is Aero Glass. Next. Now be sure to uncheck these two. This will completely mess up the theme if you check these. As you can see, don't check if you use your own custom theme. Uncheck both of these. Click next, install, and finish. Alright, and now we have a Windows Aero look. As you can see, it's barely noticeable. You can barely see it, but we're going to improve this. Yeah, so that's Windows Aero. Alright, and another thing you could do is you could uninstall most of these apps. I mean, if you want to keep them, that's fine. But this is something I probably wouldn't use in Windows 8 if I'm trying to make it look as accurate to Windows 7 as possible. You can keep these if you want. Next thing you want is the Windows 7 theme. So we're going to search up Windows Aero 8.1.1. That's the name of the file, or the name of the theme. This is the DeviantArt link, and it should be from Simplex Designs Art. It should look something like this. And as you can see, it's pretty accurate, but we're going to make it even better by the end of this video. Click download. I've tested all of these. None of the things I'm providing is adware or malware or anything like that. You can check for yourself by scanning. If it was, this video would have been taken down. Alright, and once you download it, extract the file like I just did. You can delete the zip file afterwards, and you can even delete the Windows Aero installer because, it's already installed. Go into the file. Now, once you're in this file, rename this file and add the extension, just add the two letters IP to the end to change this extension to a zip file, and then extract it. The reason why it's not a zip file when it's downloaded is because of some policies for DeviantArt. I think that's what the author of the theme said, is that he had some troubles uploading it to DeviantArt and some policies or whatever. But once you're here, click required and click UX style and just install UX style. This will allow us to add even more customization to the theme, and if you don't install UX style, the theme is going to be completely broken. if you already tried to install the theme and for some reason you didn't install UX style, it's fine. You can revert the changes, but make sure you install this. Okay. Make sure you install UX style because this is very important. And once you're done with UX style, once you're done with UX style, you can go back and you can double click Aero glass underscore settings and click run. Now what this will do is it's just going to, it says it's a registry editor, but it's not really anything you should be worried about because this is only editing the Aero glass settings of the registry, so it's not gonna break anything or anything like that. Click yes, and we are gonna modify it, but this is required if you want like better transparency. I don't think it took changes yet, but this should change when we apply the theme, and we should be good here. We can go back and go to themes. Now there's a whole lot of different types of Windows 7 themes that this author has provided. You can check the types over here in basic square, basic round. They're right here. The one I recommend is Aero round shiny. So basically these files. And in addition to that, make sure you're clicking control and just select all these. And then also select this folder. This is important. If you don't select this folder, everything's gonna break. Make sure you're doing this. This is probably the hardest part if I'm being honest, because everything else after this is really easy. Then once we copy those, go to the local disk, go to Windows, then go to Resources, Themes, and just paste all the things I told you to copy, and check do this for all current items. And make sure you have administrative privileges like you always do. And once you're done, you can go to the personalize, and as you can see, you have all the Windows 7 themes. And honestly, this is the most impressive part because this is very accurate. So there are many different ones. I'm just gonna go through. I'm gonna pick default first. It comes with the sounds as well, and yeah, it's really good. I can show you all of them. It also comes with the architecture theme, the Aero round shiny. What is this? Characters, landscapes, nature, scenes, and my personal favorite is United States, just because it just looks the coolest for me, and it's just the cleanest. But I'm going to stick with the default one for the purposes of this video. And there are a couple of inconsistencies which we're going to fix very, very shortly. Okay, now we need to install Old New Explorer. This is important for a proper, go to the msfn.org one. Old New Explorer version 1.1.9. This is good. Go to this one. And also make sure you have a proper RAR extraction tool. I'm using 7-zip. WinRAR is obviously the most relevant one, but 7-zip works fine as well. Go to Old New Explorer, and make sure you save the downloaded folders, like the ones I'm asking you to keep. These two, you should probably keep these in like the anywhere safe, like the documents folder, because it's a virtual machine and really no one cares. Go to Old New Explorer and double click Old New Explorer CFG and check both of these. Check this, uncheck use alternate navigation button styles, and click show details pane at the bottom, and uncheck show status bar, and keep these to default. Click install, yes, and then there should be like another one at the taskbar. Click yes again, and click close. Now you have to restart the Explorer for the changes to really show, and you're good. As you can see, the Explorer looks more like Windows 7. This is pretty cool. So here's the control panel. As you can see, we have that little reflective image at the top. As you can, it's barely noticeable, but you know what? I like it. And if we go into like any navigation, you can see there's like a side applet for Windows, like for the Windows 7 one. This isn't present in Windows 8, so you can definitely notice the changes when you go to system properties. As you can see, this looks really like Windows 7. except for this part. Okay, if I'm being honest, I would have preferred the genuine Microsoft, product or something, whatever, genuine Microsoft something, over here. But if I'm being honest, this isn't even that big of a deal. It's for the author of the theme. So keeping this, obviously implies that it was made by the author of the theme. But as you can see, this looks very similar to Windows 7, by the side applets and the control panel on top here. This icon is not accurate, which is what we're going to change next. So what you want to do is you want to go and search up Customizer God. Now, here's the thing. Customizer God can be very glitchy on Windows 8.1. I don't know why. On Windows 7 it's fine, and I don't know about Windows 10, but on Windows 8.1 it's honestly a bit glitchy. And you might experience problems where some of the icons might not replace properly. Keyword might. It's most likely going to work for most of you. I'm just making this disclaimer for the people who are having issues. It's honestly something you just have to mess around with and just hope that it works, because I haven't found like a consistent way to find it to work. But for me, I just started messing around with it and it just worked, and I really don't know how I got it to work. So if you just mess around with the settings, you'll eventually get it to work. Oh yeah, before we get into Customizer God, as you can see, the cursor, it doesn't have the shadow on it. We can fix that by going to Personalize again and going to Change Mouse Pointers and click Enable Pointer Shadow and click Apply. And now the cursor has a shadow to it, which it resembles Windows 7 a bit better. But moving on to Customizer God, go to General Icons, and make sure you have already installed or downloaded the Windows 7 pack I've provided, because these are where the icons are. Windows 7 icons. These are the icons we're going to be replacing. This might be tedious, but at the end it'll all be worth it. And again, if you're experiencing problems, I ask of the community, and I'll make a pinned comment. I'll tell you guys when it's completely fixed, because at this current state, Customizer God is really glitchy for Windows 8.1. So the first thing you want to replace is the drive icon. So you want to select it, click change, then go to the Windows 7 pack and go to Windows 7 icons, and then click number 36. And again, you should probably put the Windows 7 pack in a safe area. I'm just going to keep it on the desktop. And as you can see, yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The disk icon, it replaced, but then over here, it didn't replace. So if you guys can help each other out, because at this current state, it's just completely glitchy. I'll try my best to contact the developer of this program to see what the problem is. But at its current state, it's just a mess, and I'll make sure. And I don't know how, because I wasn't having problems with it here. As you can see in the aftermath, like when I was testing it out, it was working fine, but then like once I was done, it just didn't work. So I don't know what's happening. But yeah, aside from that, replace the Windows 7 drive icon with that. Then I'm just gonna scroll through this. Replace this icon with the number 80. Now it has like a Windows orb to it, and it's less modern, I guess. I don't know. Replace this help icon with number 81. And replace this question mark icon with number 99. And replace this show desktop icon with number 110. And this might be a bit tedious, because sometimes I might miss things. If I do, I'll make sure to put it in the comments, or pinned comment. Make sure if you want to keep up to date with this, tutorial, I'll have check the pinned comment, because that'll have most of the information, especially with the Customizer God fix. See the control panel icon, change this to number 195. Now, I want to see if this actually took effect. Okay, yeah, so this one took effect. So, as you can see, this icon, it now resembles Windows 7 more. But then it doesn't resemble here. So, it's honestly luck. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't work. What I recommend is, if you're having issues like that, just start, like restoring the icon, and then restore from backups. But anyways, continuing on, we should be oh wait, okay, so replace the lock drive icon with number 1033, and then the exclamation lock drive icon with net 1034, and then go to this X icon which resembles this X icon. We're going to replace this one with 5102, and yep, that replaced properly. And if we keep going, yes, this is very tedious, I'm sorry, but if you want your accurate Windows 7 experience, here it is. We should be good now. Let me make sure we're not missing any. Oh, not there. I want to make sure we're not missing anything. Yeah, we should be good on that tab. Now go to network icons. Now this will replace this icon right here. Obviously, depending if you're using Wi-Fi or Ethernet, it's going to look different. But firstly, the first one we're going to that X1, we're going to replace it with number 3020. And then replace all these to the corresponding network icon. This is pretty self-explanatory. If it isn't, then I don't know what to say to you, but yeah. Alright, and once that's done, do the same thing for the Aero version. Again, also pretty self-explanatory. Alright, and then these two icons replace this one, the Ethernet one, replace that one with 3048, and replace the the error version with, or the exclamation version, I'm pretty sure, 3051. Alright, and then replace the star, basically the completely messed up version of the Wi-Fi, the star one, replace it with 3066, and replace the critical error with 3067. And this one has a bit more Aero kind of look to it. It's a bit more transparent. I personally like it better. And everything else, this is all stuff for the lock screen. You don't really need to mess with this. And there isn't really, if you want, you can replace it with the Windows 7 one. Like, you can replace this with these ones, but it honestly won't make a difference because it's on the lock screen. I'm pretty sure it's on the lock screen. Action center icons, drive icons, zip folder icons. Then go to the base branding. Replace base branding with either 1121 or 2121. Now, these are two different sizes. You can check if it fits by going to WinVer. So, this one is a bit too big, so we're going to replace it with 2121. And apparently it didn't work, so we're going to restore it. Alright, we're trying that again. 21, okay. Alright, I don't understand. Oh, 121, there's also 121, don't forget that one. That one is for mine. So if you're using like maybe a high resolution, just try all of them to make sure it fits in the WinVer dialog. And, as you can see, this honestly, this is the part that makes me happy when you go to WinVer and you just see Windows 7 Professional. System branding, this is for, this PC. This is for the system properties. It's already replaced, so we don't really need to mess with that. And that should be it for Customizer God. And, yes, next up, which I do want to mention, go to screen resolution and go to make text and other items smaller. Now, let's just go to WinVer, for example. As you can see, the title text, it doesn't really resemble Windows 7 that much because it's a bit too big. If you want, you can change the title bars to size 9 and click apply. And as you can see, the text is it's smaller. It resembles Windows 7 better. The only downside to this is that you'll get smaller buttons, which isn't completely accurate to Windows 7. If you want, you can keep it to 11. And you can get bigger title bars, but at the same time you're missing. So it's basically like, do you want smaller text but smaller buttons, or bigger text but bigger buttons? So yeah, it's kind of up to you. I'm going to keep it to 9. I'm gonna keep it to, because I don't know. In my opinion, this just looks a bit cleaner, and I like the smaller text because I don't look at the title bar too much. So that's that. So next up, I guess let's move on to Classic Shell. So let's go to Classic Shell. Download the latest version of Classic Shell. Click download now. And then click Classic Shell Windows Installer English. And then, run it. And I recommend keeping Customizer God somewhere safe. You never know when something might go wrong. Click I accept, next. Next. Install. And click yes. And uncheck view readme and click finish. And then, once the first time you set it up, you should just be able to click, the Windows Start button, and it should be automatically installed. Or if that doesn't happen, go to Classic Shell and just click Classic Start Menu Settings. But before we mess around with the Start menu, let's go back to the Explorer for a second, and let's just restart the Explorer. And let's get rid of this toolbar, because this toolbar aggravates me every single time I install Classic Shell. So you can just easily go to the Classic Explorer settings and uncheck Show Status Bar, because that's not in Windows 7 at all, and click OK. And then right click the toolbar and just click and uncheck Classic Explorer bar and just refresh, and you'll be back to normal. But again, let's go back to Classic Start Menu Settings. Classic Start Menu Settings. Now we're gonna click Show All Settings, and we're just gonna start with the Start button and click Replace Start button and click Custom button, and then make sure you have your Windows 7 pack in hand, and go to Button Image, and navigate to the 7 pack file, and and then select the Windows 7 Start button and click Open, and then click OK. And as you can see, you have a very similar Windows 7 button. Once you have that, you need to close out of Classic Shell. Just left click the Start button and click Exit like I just did. And you want to go back to the internet and search up Win 7 like. And then click Classic Shell Win 7 like, and go down. And we're gonna get a really, really similar Windows 7 start menu. The one that comes with Classic Shell is also good, but if you want like this Windows 7 like pure experience with like the really accurate shutdown button, I recommend downloading this. Click Win 7 like. We really don't need the combo, just because the combo it doesn't really make that big of a difference. If you want to download the combo, you can, but honestly, again, doesn't make too much of a difference. Click OK, extract it, and then open it and copy the win7 like.skin7 file. Go to this PC. Oh, okay. Good to know that the local disk icon fixed itself. So if you're lucky, then all the icons from Customizer God will fix itself. But go to local disk, go to program files, click Classic Shell, go to skins, and just paste the skin7 file that you downloaded. Click continue. And now we have a skin. So after you're done with that, open up Classic Shell again. Just click Classic Start Menu Settings, and you'll see you have it back. But click Skin, and then click Win7 like, and keep the glass color to high. And as you can see, we have a Windows 7 Start menu. As you can see, it's not completely accurate yet because we haven't configured its settings. So once that's done, for me, the most accurate is the glass color is more accurate. For me, the most accurate glass color is high. Low looks fine and medium looks fine, but for accuracy purposes, I like high looks the most similar, in my opinion, to Windows 7. Go to Menu Look, and main menu animation, click No Animation, and set the fade speed to 0, and then go down and click Enable Aero Glass mod. Or enable Aero Glass, requires Aero Glass mod. Again, this Aero Glass we got. Then click Start, and as you can see, this looks almost identical to Windows 7. Except there's very few inconsistencies, but again, this looks almost exactly like Windows 7. So that's the start menu, I think. Yeah, that's that. You can adjust the start. You can adjust the settings for your start button. You can't like go to, you can't just go to like the start menu properties, and it just doesn't work like that. You can't really adjust the settings of the start menu using Windows. You have to use Classic Shell. So if you want to configure Classic Shell to your liking, go to not main menu, customize start menu, and I'll just pretend that I'm that kind of guy who wants a different start menu than the default one. So, I want to keep the user files, and I don't like documents because I don't use it that much. So as you can see, the documents folder is gone. But what I do like is the videos folder. And as you can see, it created a link to the videos folder. And, I want to display the games as a link because we're going to get that soon. I don't like recent items, and I don't really like menus in general because it just takes up more space. So I don't want to display the recent items. And I don't want to display PC settings because Windows 7 doesn't need PC settings. But I do want to display the control panel, but I don't want it to display as a menu, which is this. This is a menu. We don't want that. Or at least I don't want that. You can display this as a link. And as you can see, you can click it. It just brings you to here. I want to get rid of run because I don't use run. I don't really like it. I want to not display it. And this is what I want from my start menu. And you can also, in Windows 7, the computer icon, it's called this PC in Windows 8.1. You can fix this by renaming this to simply computer. And there you go. It's going to rename to computer. And that's how it is in Windows 7. But yeah, that's that. In terms of the start button menu, we're pretty much finished. You can configure this to your liking if you want. And oh yeah, and go to Windows 8.1 settings and where it says disable active corners, click all, and this will get rid of the charms bar and stuff like that. Go to taskbar, click customize taskbar, and click opaque. Now you'll have a Windows 7-esque kind of taskbar. Now it's starting to look a lot like Windows 7, as you can see. We're done with the taskbar. Make sure you have Aero glass again because you'll get the Windows 7 taskbar like that. Go to start button. Unless you're using Windows 7 basic. If you're using the basic theme, then by all means don't use Aero. But anyways, start button. We're good on start button. Start menu style controls. Here you can adjust the controls. So if for some reason you want to use the Windows, you want to use the start screen, you can like adjust the settings. So if you click shift and click, if you shift click on the start button, you can display the Windows start screen, like that if you want. I'm just gonna keep these a default because I personally like these settings. Go to main menu, and I just want to make sure. Inside show, so you can adjust again, you can further adjust the main menu of the Windows 7 of the start menu. Yeah, you can adjust this to your liking. As you can see, show recent or frequent programs. You cannot show that, so this basically, it automatically shows programs you might want. I don't like that. I want to start just pinning programs, so I'm going to not show that. I'm just gonna pin Chrome, or no, I don't want to. Okay, pin to start. I want to pin that to start, and like, I don't know, Internet Explorer, for example. I don't know. Oh, okay, that's a bit weird. If you're getting issues like that, it's fine. It shouldn't affect functionality. Let's just go to Windows accessories. We'll just start pinning all of this, just for demonstration purposes. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so this is, yeah, that's good. Enable jump lists. I haven't had that much experience with jump lists, but you can adjust that to your liking. Your general behavior. This, I don't think, oh yeah, we can, so this is the part where, I can't really demonstrate anything for you, but at the same time I can. If you are using a local account, you know, you can change your local account to the Windows 7 user tiles that I've provided, or you can use your own. But you know, if you want to use that I provided in the Windows 7 pack, you can adjust that. If I go here and then I click make changes to my account settings, obviously this is for demonstration purposes. I'm not going to activate Windows just for this. But if you want, you can adjust your account picture and change it to the Windows 8 versions, or Windows 7 versions for that matter. But if you want, you can adjust them directly from Classic Shell. So you can just select user picture and just go to the Windows 7 ones, and you can pick that, and there we go. I'm just going to use this. I'm going to use Classic Shell's version of the user tile, just because, I don't know, that's a good idea for me. And that should be good. You can adjust the commands here, but otherwise we're good. Search box, that's fine. You can adjust things here if you want. So most of the things I've just mentioned are like basically preference things. But aside from that, you should be good on Classic Shell. So the next thing you want, I'm just gonna set that as, oh my god. The next thing you want is, I forgot the name of the program. You can just check here. Aero Glass Blur Tweaker. Make sure it's this link, Aero Glass Blur Tweaker. And this is from the msfn.org user. You can download it from here. I'm gonna download it, and just click download. It's media fire, keep. This is safe. I've used it before. It's completely fine. If it says it's harmful, it's really not. It's fine. I don't know why I'm dragging it. It doesn't really need to be dragged. This is the installation. So you have to install this. Click next. I accept next. Next. And yes, click the full installation. Click install. And click finish. So after you're done installing that, click to AG Blur Tweaker. And then go to the Blur Tweaker settings photo, which I provided in the 7 pack, the Windows 7 pack. Now, I just want to mention that the active color balance and the active blur balance, these don't need to be the same because this is already adjusted by the theme. However, if you're using like your own background and you want to adjust the colors, so like if I go to personalize and I want to adjust the colors, even this is going to be automatically adjusted for this active color balance and active blur balance is going to be automatically adjusted according to your color in Windows. So you don't really need to mess with this. Just make sure you set the blur deviation amount to 15. The radius should be at 12. Inactive color balance to 0. Make sure that's there. It says null, so it should be 0. That can be inactive blur balances should be null or 0. Null or 0, it's the same thing. And make sure the glass reflection intensity is at 100. Now, do not be fooled because this glass reflection, Windows 7 equals 50, that's not true. If anything, it just makes it look less accurate. Make sure to click apply, click yes. And it will look weird for a second, but it should automatically adjust. And you can close out. So, you can close out of Blur Tweaker. And if you go here, as you can see, that didn't really work. Oh, because I didn't. Okay, if I'm. Oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, make sure you click OK. Don't just click cancel because it's just going to revert to 0. But make sure you click 100. These should be the settings. Make sure these should be the settings. Or you can just look directly off this photo. I'm going to double check because I'm really bad at just following directions. I'm providing my own directions and I'm still failing, but click apply. Click OK. And then you can click close. Okay, now this looks more similar. So as you can see, this isn't a good example, but, you know, that's that. You should be done with that. But as you can see, the Blur Tweaker gave the windows a bit more transparency than they were before, which looks a bit more accurate to Windows 7. And also, it provided more like this reflection on the windows. It's a bit hard to see, but it's there if you want it. And this is the part where it looks mostly similar to Windows 7. It looks super accurate. I personally really like it. Yeah, so that's that. This is, at this point, if you want to stop, you can, but it's not even done yet. So, The next part is the task manager in Windows 8.1. So the problem with the task manager is it's not the Windows 7 one. Who wants this? Even though it's better, who wants it, right? I personally like the Windows 8.1 task manager. I like it more than the Windows 7 one. But this is the task manager. This is Windows 7. So why would we want a Windows 8.1 task manager? So we can fix that by just searching up like Windows 7 task manager for Windows 8.1. One arrow. It's fine. There should have restored. Okay, there. Restore the good old task manager for Windows 8.1. How nice. Okay, you can download it. Where's the download button? Download the following zip file, and you can save it. Okay, download the old task manager. It should bring you to a OneDrive link. It should be fine. It should automatically download. Click show in folder. You can delete the Win7 skin. You can delete all the zip files practically. You can delete this classic shell installation because you already have it. You can delete the AG blur you can delete the AG blur tweaker installation file because again we already have it. You can delete the Win7 like that you downloaded because you already copied it to the folder. And you can keep Customizer God, but I just put the application. You really only need this file. You don't need the folder at all, so I'm going to delete that as well. So you can extract the downloaded task manager. Yeah, you can download it, double click it, click yes. Again, this is not malware. I used to use WinArrow a lot. I used to get a lot of downloads from WinArrow. It's really good. Click next, and click next. We don't really need desktop icons, so I'm just not gonna. We don't need. It's basically only gonna make a desktop icon for the task manager, which I don't think anyone has. Click next, install, and let's just, for the purposes, we're going to now open task manager, and as you can see, it's the Windows 7 task manager. I mean, it's a bit more complicated to use, but I think you have more to do here. And if you prefer it, you can use this. So if I'm being honest, I prefer the Windows 8.1 version, but that's that. The next thing you want is a Gadget Pack. Oh yeah, you can go back to the downloads. You can delete all this because you already installed it. So the next thing you want is a Gadget Pack. Now this is if you want gadgets in Windows 7. I'm just gonna show it just because some people like gadgets in Windows 7. And when I mean some, I mean like barely anyone. I don't really see anyone using gadgets. If I go to like, some buildings, I have never seen anyone use gadgets in Windows 7. Maybe in Windows Vista just because it's more apparent, but not in Windows 7. I haven't seen anyone use it in Windows 7. But wait for the 8 Gadget Pack to download. And in addition to the default gadgets that come with Windows 7, you'll also get some additional ones, which again are safe, and also some of them that were discontinued by Microsoft. Functionality of them have been brought back. So I'll just show you once it downloads. So make sure it's fully downloaded. Refresh and run the installation. Click install. Click yes. Okay, there you go. I'm going to uncheck this. So you can go to gadgets, and it should automatically pop up. It's taking a while just because it's loading up for the first time. So as you can see, you have the Windows 7 gadgets back. Isn't that great? So there wasn't really a sidebar in Windows 7. I'm just gonna remove it. So I'm just gonna close sidebar. But yeah, you have your gadgets back if you want them. I mean, I don't see anyone using these, but if you want, you can. I mean, I like them, but I just didn't get around to using them yet. But as you can see, you have the default ones. If you go to show details, as you can see, Microsoft Corporation. There is also, like, again, when I said that some of the functionality have been brought back to other ones. If I go to MSN Weather, this is also for Microsoft, but these guys have brought back functionality of this gadget, and I found it really cool. So moving on, speaking of this game, if you go to the games folder in Windows 8.1, I mean, this is hidden, but Classic Shell gave us access back to it. As you can see, it's empty, and that's a bit depressing. So if you want the Windows 8 games back, you can download them. So if you just search up Windows 7 games for Windows 10, and it's going to work for Windows 8.1 as well. So click Get Windows 7 Games for Windows 10. It's gonna work for Windows 8.1 again, and just download it and download Windows 7 games. Wait for this zip file to download. Again, for like the 20th time, you can delete the installation file for like, everything, because the installation file isn't really important. Alright, once you're done with that, extract the file and double click Windows 7 games for Windows 10 and 8. Click yes. Make sure you select your language. I mean, I don't know if I speak English or not, but nothing likes loading in virtual machine. Click next. Now, if select the games you want, the internet games might stop functioning at some point, just because I don't know if these are directly from Windows 7, but again, this is Aero, and I trust Aero, and I personally haven't seen any problems with them. But internet games might stop working on January 2020, which was announced. It's pretty sad, honestly. I really like these internet games, even if I didn't know how to play them. As a child, I actually really liked these games. They were the only source of entertainment for me, except for like Pac-Man, Flash Pac-Man. But we're gonna install all of them. It might stop working, but click finish. And this might pop up, but this isn't really important. Once you're done, go to the games folder, and you have all your Windows 7 games. Internet Spades, the icon is a bit glitched up, but honestly, I don't really care. You have all your Windows 7 games again, and they all work. Just gonna play one game, just for a break. If you want me to do a gaming channel of just Minesweeper. Well, I lost, but yeah, you get the point. They work, and we're almost done. We have 2 more things next. Now this is optional. Again, like the gadgets were optional, the games were optional. This is another optional thing. It's called 7+ taskbar tweaker. Now we're not really gonna use this that much. The only thing I really want to do is adjust the show desktop icon, show desktop button. It looks fine. Unfortunately, the developer, which I hope if the developer is watching this video, he adjusts the show desktop icon to be like a Windows 7 version, just because you can use 7+ taskbar tweaker to adjust the length of the show desktop button. Again, once that's downloaded, this is completely optional. If you don't like it, you don't have to download it. Some people might like this, some people might not like this. Again, you can delete the Win 7 games because you already downloaded it. You can download 7+ taskbar tweaker. I don't see a lot of people doing this, honestly, but I'm just showing it just for the people who want it. Click next, click install, and click just check both of these. Now, we're not really going to mess around with anything here. If I'm being honest, we don't really need to mess around. We're going to go to advanced settings, advanced option, and go down and click show desktop button size. I think it was 15, where, yeah, that looks more accurate. So as you can see, it didn't adjust the image, but it did adjust the actual button. So it looks more like Windows 7. I'm hoping I'll go put a pinned comment again if this ever happens. It probably won't happen, but if the theme is updated, you can add back functionality of the show desktop button. Or, okay, it's already functional, but if you want the show desktop button to be that big, just like in Windows 7, you can. If I'm being honest, I just showed this for the people who want it. I wouldn't use this just because it just looks off. Yeah, I wouldn't use that. But that's that. But this part might make it tricky for the people who want it. So basically, we're going to get rid of the lock screen for Windows 8.1. And we're going to add the sounds, the login and log off sounds, and the shutdown sound for Windows 7, and the startup sound. Now, we're going to start with the startup sound, which is the simplest part. Now, if you go to sounds, you can check the play Windows startup sound, but it won't function for certain people, just because. Now, this is basically a sacrifice, basically. So if you go to battery, change power saving settings, and you go to choose what the power buttons do. Now, over here, just because this is a virtual machine, you won't see this, but it's going to say, like, turn fast startup or something, you have to uncheck that for the Windows startup to play. But what you're losing is startup time. If you want this play startup sound to work, you have to go into power. You have to go to this setting in control panel. You have to click this and make sure you uncheck enable like fast startup or something. Because for most people, that's gonna be enabled. You can uncheck that. But yeah, that's that. So if you want the Windows startup sound, you can have that if you want. And but for these, this should be fine for everyone. So you have to go to group policy editor, edit group policy, and you have to, so we're going to start off the lock screen. So if you go to switch user, if you don't want the lock screen, I totally understand. This doesn't work well for the desktop. I mean, who is going to lift their mouse up? I mean, honestly, it doesn't work with desktops, if I'm being honest. If you go to control panel personalization, yeah, I totally knew that. Control panel personalization, and do not display lock screen. Double click this and click enable. It might be confusing because it says do not, but it clicks like enable. If you disable it, it's not going to work. Make sure you click enable and click apply. And now if you switch the user, you won't see the lock screen anymore, which is good. Go to administrative tools, system, and then go to group policy editor, configure logon script delay, and click enable, and click just like click 0 minutes, or maybe click disable. Yeah, click disable or enable, disable or enable, but just set it to 0 minutes. That's what I'm trying to say. Enter 0 to disable the logon script delay. Yeah, click apply. Alright, so here's where the fun stuff starts. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add the Windows shutdown sound. So we're going to do that by going to computer configurations and click scripts, and click shutdown, and click PowerShell scripts, and click add, and then go to browse. And there's a reason why I wanted you to put this in a safe place, because if you move it, it's probably going to get confused by where the script is. But again, select shutdown, click OK, and click apply. So we can test this out at the end, and that should be good. So you're good with the shutdown sound. Now, I put configurable in the login and log off just because this can be, you can edit this to your liking. So if you have the default Windows 7 theme, this will automatically adjust to your settings unless you have a different disk name. So if your disk name is not C, make sure you adjust this to the corresponding disk as well as the shutdown version. Pretend I didn't say anything if it's not. You can adjust the login and log off sound depending on your sound scheme. So for example, if you go back to the resources folder where we pasted the theme, at the very beginning, and go to here, go to the Windows Aero folder, which was very important, go to sound schemes. This path is automatically going to go to that folder. So the Windows one is called Windows, the default one is called Windows Log Offs or Windows Logon sound. It sounds like this. It's gonna sound like that. And basically that's the path this is correlating to. These are your sound schemes, right? So for the United States theme, it's Delta. So if you want to have the Delta sound scheme, all you have to do is replace Windows, this Windows right here. You just have to replace Windows with Delta. Or if your sound scheme is afternoon, then you just replace it with afternoon because the name of the file should be the same. So again, if you're configuring it to your liking, make sure you just have the path to the corresponding file is what I'm trying to say. So again, once the login and log off scripts are configured to your liking, go to user configuration, go to Windows settings, scripts. We're going to start with logon and click PowerShell scripts and click add and click browse and click and go to the file and go to not that sounds and click login and click OK and click apply, and then click log off and do the same thing except you're doing the log off version. Ooh, amazing. Okay, and log off. Okay, and apply. Now we can test this. So we are going to log off As you can see, it played the log off sound. And if we log back in, it played the logon sound. We're gonna test the startup and shutdown sound now. Now, the thing with the shutdown is now, because it's logging off and then shutting down, it's going to play the log off sound and then the shutdown sound, which isn't really accurate to Windows 7. So it's basically your choice if you want to enable the log on and log off sounds, or if you want to even enable the sounds at all. I'm just going to demonstrate it. If I click restart, it first logs off, and then it's going to shut down. So that's the problem if you really don't like that for some reason. I don't find it disturbing at all. But now we're going to wait for it to start up. And there you go. And there's the startup sound. And I don't know if it plays the logon sound. There you go, it worked. Hi, so it's me from the next day. I forgot to mention something not really important, but it's a good thing to know. Whenever you're navigating files, you'll notice some of you might notice that there aren't sounds whenever you navigate through Windows, like, you know, you don't notice any sounds. You can enable the start navigation sound by going to your sounds and then go down to start navigation and click browse. Go back to the resources folder where you put the theme. Then go to themes and then go to the Windows Aero folder that you copied into the resources folder, and go to sound schemes. And then depending on your theme, depending on whether you have the default or the characters or etc., go to that corresponding sound file. In my case, it's the default theme. Then go to navigation start and select that and click apply. Now, if you notice, you have sounds. I just want to mention that real quick because I forgot to do that during the video because I'm very dumb. But yeah, that's about it for this transformation. This took a long time, but the result of this is a completely super accurate Windows 7 experience. And I never thought I would get to this point where the experience looks almost one-for-one to Windows 7, and like every icon is almost exactly the same, the start menu is exactly the same, the taskbar is exactly the same, and we have every single theme, every single sound, everything. And this will make the transition from, you know, Windows 7 to Windows 8.1 for those people who love the Windows 7 interface and you just don't really want to transition to a different interface, but at the same time you want to upgrade your operating system for security. This is the way. I honestly think this is a way to do it if you want to use Windows 8.1. I guess we'll go through. We'll end off the video with my favorite theme, the United States theme. This video took me too long. If you did enjoy, hit that like button down below. I really want to see some discussions in the comments. And if you're having any issues, I'll gladly try my best to help you. Especially with Customizer God, if that doesn't work for you. But yeah, if you did enjoy, hit the like button down below, and I'll see you all later.